If you look at this instrument, we also have some other things that are of interest. We have what we call couplers here, and it allows me to combine sounds on the organ. So for instance, if I have a trumpet on the top keyboard, a flute on the middle keyboard, an oboe on the bottom keyboard, and I want to play them all together on one keyboard, I use a coupler. This one's called swell to great, this is called choir to great, and it takes the top keyboard down to the middle and the bottom keyboard up to the middle, and when we play them all together, we get all those three sounds. And then on this side, we have what's called combination pistons, and that's for the organist to be able to switch sounds immediately from soft to loud. So if I'm playing combination piston 1, which is a soft sound, that's from the antiphonal organ, this is from the swell. And all of a sudden there's a big dramatic change. All I have to do is hit piston number 5, and the organ kicks in with many, many more ranks of pipes. So that's a neat part of the instrument that allows one to play very expressively. Then in the pedal division, I think most people have a feeling that it's very, very light, and it can be, but it also can create some beautiful melodies all on its own, and in the next posting we're going to play a pedal solo for you to demonstrate that. People who become organists oftentimes have a tough adjustment. Most of them have taken piano lessons 6 or 7 years and then moved to the organ. And the big difference is that when you play, say, clarinet or trumpet, you read one line of music because you just have the melody. If you are a pianist, you play 2 lines at once. You have a right hand and then you have a left hand. But when you're an organist, you have to read 3. The right hand, the left hand, which is treble clef, bass clef, and then another bass clef line for the pedal. And it seems like your eyes just have to go wider and wider. And somehow the brain is able to adapt and you're able to see all 3 at once. But it does take quite an adjustment. The other thing that's difficult for playing the organ is touch. Most pianists who don't have any training on the organ play the organ very choppy. And the reason why is because on the piano, if I played a sound and I took my hand off of it, it would release immediately. The same thing on the organ. But on the piano, you have a sustaining pedal with your right foot. And by putting that pedal down, when you play, you can take your hands off the keys and the sound keeps going. But on the organ, there's no sustaining pedal. So we have to play much more into the keys without our hands coming off very often. And there's a technique called substitution. So for instance, if I play this chord on the piano, and then I play this note, the sustaining pedal will hold that sound together, but on the organ it won't. So I need to do this. I have to move this finger over and have 2 fingers on one key and hold it down with the one I just put down, and then I can move to this, and there's no gap in the sound. So that's another thing about playing a style of touch that makes the organ much, much more musical than it would be if you did not have that. And then finally, playing the pedals. For most people, it takes 2-3 years before they really get the hang of it. It's a lot of work. If you notice on the feet I have, there's an extra heel that allows me to play in both extreme ranges of the instrument without spraining my ankle. And they slide a little bit more. They're like high heels. I don't know how women wear these because they're painful, but I need to do that when I'm playing the organ because it allows to go from toe to heel a lot easier. And I'd like to play you on the next posting a pedal solo so you can kind of see how the pedal can play an independent melody.